Welcome to our third weekly encounters podcast wrap-up. This is RPGGEM,
RPGNate,
and RPGDad. So this week we started, what's the name of the encounters season?
Search for the Diamond Staff. I was the DM. Apparently the guy that we just got the staff for, Amani, is it?
Yeah, something like that.
We got the staff for him in the Vault of the Draculish, and apparently he's already lost it. So, apparently we've been hired by him to go to this vault place.
Well, see, you got to remember, the weekend thing, even though it's like a setup, I don't think it's a matter that you're the same group. I'm DMing this season, and this is a whole new thing. Yeah, we're going after the Diamond Staff again. Apparently the guy must have lost it again, but just assume that your characters are a new group. This weekend was just a fun, super long session with a lot of death and killing.
Yeah.
But, this is a whole new season, and why don't you guys start with the makeup of your group? What do you have?
So, I am a Paladin Blackguard, same as the weekend.
I am a
Cleric.
Wood Elf Cleric named Arwen.
That's right. Then we had
the Rogue.
We had the Rogue.
We had the Hunter.
And then you had rolled up a fighter for the other character, and I suggested that we probably needed a wizard, which you did.
I'd say we needed the fighter more, so I didn't die.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But long term, you're going to need the wizard in the group. Huh? You're going to need... Yeah, I'm going to be coughing again. This respiratory thing's holding on for the last couple weeks. Yeah, you're going to need the wizard long term, especially once next week and all comes. Next week, you guys are definitely going to die. This week was just kind of crazy. You fought 9 orcs, and they were both archers and had great axes, so they could either attack ranged or close. If you played 4th edition, you had 7 axe dwarves and 2 archers. So there was a big not dwarves, orcs. And 2 archer orcs. So there's a big difference between the 5th, the way they set it up, and the 4th.
I'm guessing it would almost be easier to have done the 4th.
Well, the 4th edition, your characters would have been able to handle it better, I think. But, they would have had more hit points, too. It would have been a tough encounter either way, and then next week is going to be worse. But what did not help RPGNate was his group. This was not a group effort, killing these things off.
And that includes you, RPGGEM.
She did heal you.
That's about it.
She's not... And I tried to save you from that one archer.
Exactly. She did come up and help.
The one archer.
Don't be a douche. All right? She did help. She did her part. She did what she could. The mage did do something good when he laid down the webs because it kind of contained.
It blocked me into that one corner.
Well, I'll talk about what I thought was bad, and then you guys can talk about it. What was bad was, honestly, your group is your group didn't do what they should have done. The cleric probably should have come up and engaged to take some of the pressure off of you because you are the second highest AC in the group. You just are. But the building that you were kind of trapped in front of, that's where your whole group hung out and hid the entire encounter. They come out and try to snipe, and then, of course, that's really what got your thief almost got killed. And your mage got banged up pretty bad because they kept hiding, but they trapped themselves in pretty much a tunnel where I could just, after you finally figured out run in the house and hide.
Well, no, it wasn't that I figured it out. It was that I had 3 guys on me, so I couldn't just go into the house.
Well, once you were able to, though, because you still had like 6 range guys firing on you because everybody's hiding behind the house. They left you out to dry, and basically, I killed you. That never should have happened.
Another part of the problem was the wizard misread the web spell, so he thought that I had to spend an action to get through the web. It would have helped a lot if I could have moved. See,
I didn't play the web spell, so I I didn't read it either. I don't do mages. Once you guys read it, we know what the rules were.
Yeah, it would have helped a lot if I would have known that beforehand. Then I could have actually gotten out of there.
Yeah. But anyway, why don't you tell them why you got killed?
Because everybody ditched me and hid behind a building.
And you did what you're supposed to do as a paladin. You went up and you engaged. The bad thing was, everybody, it was some selfish play going on there. And I can see that it's going to be a tough season with the players that we have at the table. If everybody's going to play the selfish, it's going to be real tough on you because you've burned up your hit die. You've burned up your potions.
It's going to be real tough on them now because I have a longbow. They're about to die.
So it's going to be a tough season for you.
Yeah, paladin with a longbow, I know. So effective.
But RPGGEM, what do you have to say? You did a good job. I mean, you went up, you healed him, you dealt out another heal when the thief was almost dead, and then at the end you used up your last one. The problem is, I think you guys have blown all of your major spells. The second levels are gone for the wizard. As I said, you've lost your heals, and you're not getting them back for 2 more sessions. Well, you'll get 1 spell back next time, I think.
No, that's only the wizards.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
We might have to modify or house rule those rules so you guys have a chance.
I was just trying to get around on the board, trying to help everyone, but...
Yeah, I burnt all my spells using inflict wounds because of that damn web. Because that was my only ranged attack, and then...
Well, for a while you didn't even have an option to move because you had 3 guys blocking the web just on you, beating on you.
Yeah.
And what didn't help was those orcs. They only had 11 hit points, but unless you took them to their dead value, they didn't die until their next turn.
Oh.
So that's why they got a freebie on you, and that's why they hammered you.
I played in Tomb of Horrors. We had a lot of monsters like that.
Yeah. Now it also didn't help that on you, I ended up rolling 3 crits. I rolled a lot of bad rolls too. I mean, I rolled some crit misses, but I tried to use a die for that encounter session that always betrays me, and it didn't do it. So the odds just played against you guys.
You got to roll the dice that are good to you when you're a player.
It doesn't matter. The odds are just there. But 3 crits on 1 player, I would have liked to have seen the crits spread out, but it didn't work that way.
It didn't help that you didn't spread the attacks out.
I couldn't spread the attacks out. All of these goobers were hidden behind the house.
You could have attacked the orcs.
Don't be sued. They're not going to attack themselves. But anyway, it didn't help that I had 4 guys hidden behind the house, and that's why I worked my way in. I started killing them with the wolves. I knew it was going to end quick. I mean, one table ended at 7:55.
Because they didn't add the second wave. Adding the second wave was probably a bad idea. Because
the second wave was only wolves. I did not have to add it. The second wave was just more wolves coming in. I could have murdered the entire party by adding orcs again, but I wasn't going to do that. What do you guys think?
I didn't like it. I needed my party.
You need a party that supports you.
Yes.
So what do you think, RPGGEM?
Well, I tried to support him. I was just running around.
You had a 19 AC. You could have been up front and hitting people. You would have been better off.
The way I was rolling, everybody was going to get hit.
But you would have been better off in the front because your mace has a better chance of hitting.
It does.
I didn't most of the guys at the first part were in the web. Or
you could have hit the one guy, and then she would have been out of it at that point, because the one guy that was in the web, that was the only one she had an angle to attack. So she did come up, she did hit that, and honestly, her hit took him to negative value. But you thought she didn't do anything, that she should have stayed there. She did the right thing, even though she didn't know it, because he was going to drop after his next attack.
Yeah,
which he did. And you guys were just looking confused because all of a sudden guys would drop after their attack. And you should have thought Tomb of Horrors, weird-ass monsters that just stay up until the next round after they're dead. Now, a couple times you guys did get them past their negative hit point value, and they were, that took care of them. They were right down. Fortunately, these weren't the kind of creatures where they get to their negative value, they die, and they explode. That would have really killed you guys. But
I haven't dealt with any of those type of creatures in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, and they were always miserable. But
most of the time, those are minions.
Yeah,
because they go up and they explode in your face, and it's really annoying.
So, what did you think of your party, RPGGEM? What about the tactics or lack of tactics they used?
Well, I'm cowardly just like them, but, they just didn't want to get hit, but they should have engaged. I tried to, but I really didn't feel like dying because the way you were hitting. I saw you rolling those 20s. I wasn't going that, no.
But it was all on him. I was rolling horrible on everybody else.
I don't trust you.
I needed that help.
So, but that's it. Next week, I fear that their party is going to die because the next encounter is really, really bad.
What is it?
I can't tell you, but it's going to be really bad. For the parties out there that managed to get through, or the DM didn't throw in a second wave. I mean, I think not throwing in a second wave is a problem because we had one table end at 7:55. It was 55 minutes in, and they were done. You need to.
I think that was more because they had tactics, unlike our table, and they didn't use web and lock down the entire board.
Well, you need to
never use web again.
You need to, as a DM, have something prepared, especially if you're going to play next. You have to have something in mind, something prepared. Read what's in the book. There are things that you do to extend the encounter session. I mean, it's supposed to go for 2 hours, and it's almost like a waste of time for people to come out, probably rush home from work, eat dinner, whatever. If you have to pick up the kids, take the kids somewhere, whatever you're doing, to just go for a quick 55-minute encounter, I think that the DM is letting the table down by doing that. I had already said at the beginning of the season with the people playing at the table that I planned on, if it was done early, adding something to it so that we took the 2 hours, which I think when we were done, it was 10 of. So we took almost the full 2 hours. I think everybody except RPGNate had fun. But that was just, he had bad luck with my rolls. And, I've got 2 vlogs that I plan on doing. One that I'm going to prepare today, and then the other one is about DMs. No, DMs. About DMs. Basically the gist of don't be a dick. And by that, I'm not talking about, we always have a conversation. There are times, if you have and I know you were mad at me because of the 20s, but we had an experienced table there. And that's why the crits I had to let go. Now, if we would have had a table that was 2 tables over, they had 4 new people sitting there that never played the game before. You don't crit on the newbies and you don't kill them. Why? If you kill their characters off the first thing, what are they going to do?
Quit.
Are they going to come back?
No.
Encounters is there to bring new people into the game and make them have fun. And that's the DM's job, is to make them have fun and show them the game's fun. We all play with each other. We play the game all the time together, and if you roll a crit, you roll a crit. And I don't ever intentionally change a regular roll to a crit. I've done it once with the one guy who just would not let go on hard corners and insisted that he could go around, and he pissed me off so bad that I killed him so he would shut up.
I don't think I've ever changed a roll to a critical.
I've done it for one guy, and I don't feel bad about it because the whole table was mad at that guy. They wanted him gone.
I've changed criticals to critical misses.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
I've changed criticals to a regular roll. But, for that, I was being a dick to the player, and it's something you shouldn't do. But the player, once you say, look, this is the rule, you can't do that. I mean, and essentially saying he can make his whole body go through a hard corner on a door or a stone building. And you can't do it. You have to go around. That's the tactics of it. Get over it.
Why didn't
If you try to go through a hard corner,
well,
you're going to break
after 10 minutes of explaining it to him beforehand and all the other stuff, I'm like, I'm just killing him, and then he'll have to shut the hell up.
No, tell him to go to a hard corner and try going through it. That might be
that's
funny.
when he tried doing the thing where he slid his ass over the table. That's the thing. He could slide his butt over the table to make it from one square to the other, but he could not go from one square to the other without having his full body in that fourth square. So you still have to make the hard turn if it was a corner. There's no way physically to do it where your entire body, and that's the tactics of the game. But you get people who are just going to argue, and arguing with the DM, I'm going to say right now, arguing with the DM is generally a bad idea because, yes, you can debate a rule. There's a difference between debating and arguing. All right, you can, or if you want to talk about a rule, you say, well, I think it's this way. You go, well, let's take a look. And once you look and they go, either the DM goes, yeah, you were right. Or if the person's wrong, go, yeah, you were right. I'm sorry. But this guy was like a dog with a bone, and he was not going to let go. And I guarantee you to this day, he's still not letting go and doesn't comprehend like the hard corner rule. And, there's a big thing. Don't be a dick as a player. Don't be a dick as a DM. Mostly because you destroy the game for everybody at the table.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. Did you guys want to play with that guy ever again?
I wanted to kill him.
Did you want to play with that guy ever again?
Not really.
No. And as a DM, I made sure I killed him if he sat at my table. He never sat at my table after. He sat one more time, and I killed him the next time, too. Because he wouldn't let the hard corner thing go a second week in a row.
He played that annoying monk character,
and
too.
then he got the clue, and he sat at another table.
Yeah,
and to be honest, I'm glad he did. And they still told him you can't cut a hard corner. But if you've listened this far, arguing with the DM is stupid. There may be a reason that they're changing a rule. They probably know the rules better than you do in the first place. That's why they're sitting there at the table.
That's generally.
And if you want to say, look, I think I can do this, and then they explain to you why, and then you want to keep arguing, you'd get and deserve whatever you get at that table for the time that you play. And I guarantee you the DM's going to make it miserable, so eventually you find another group. And I'm sure there are players out there that go group to group to group to group until they run out of places to play because they are such dicks.
I know 5th edition a lot better than him, but I generally don't try to argue it with him because it doesn't really get you anywhere.
Well, the thing is, the DM's running the game, you just go. And what's the point?
Yeah.
Anytime that, there might be something minor and it's not really affecting the game that much.
Well,
like on our 4th edition campaign on Sundays with the role-playing, how I do that. If you make a good enough argument, I let it go.
But that's why it's a role-playing game.
Arguing at encounters is just a time waster. Just go with what
it is. You've got 2 hours
says.
And they kick you out because men want to go home. And, they want to leave the store. So, and also it's just it's another thing that sets a bad example at the table for the new people that are coming in. They're going to be like, oh, this is just a game where everybody argues. Who wants to play that? Fortunately, we don't have anything like that for the most part because we have an established group that sits with us. Whether it's on Sunday or on Wednesdays, we have the same players that sit with us.
And then the other tables also generally have the same people at.
They have a smaller core of players. I mean, we normally don't have room for new players to sit at our table.
No.
They have a smaller core, so they always have new players.
But their core players do know the rules well enough, and the DM knows the rules well enough that they don't need to argue with each other.
One table, I can say the DM knows the rules well enough. The other one, it's kind of debatable.
Yeah.
That was shown when we did the thing this weekend.
Our head DM or who?
Not the head DM. The other one that was no, we're not. We don't use names, but you know who we're talking about. And the thing is, it doesn't help because they'll sit there and argue. They'll even argue your own spell that you just read. And then they'll say, no, well, this is like with the webs. Well, the webs are gone. No, he'll say, oh, the webs are gone. But, you say, no, here's the rule. It burns one at a time. And even when you said that, he argued until I handed it to him. And he goes, oh.
Well, the other DM didn't argue. He figured,
He figured we had both talked about it and we made a plan. The two wizards made a plan.
Yeah, he's better with the rules than the other one is.
Yeah.
So he generally doesn't argue. You generally don't have to argue with him.
Yeah.
Because he does know the rules. But the other one says he knows the rules, but then he gets into arguments about rules that aren't there. And
it all detracts from the enjoyment for everyone at the table. And let's face it, we're there to play something we love to play.
And this is one of the players that plays with us on the Sunday campaign. But he has figured out that it's a better idea not to argue there. Because it's not going to get you anywhere.
It doesn't get you anywhere. I mean, let's face it, DMs are God. And even if they screw up and they keep playing the rule that's screwed up, you got to deal with it. Now, you should always debate if you have a spell, you know what it's going to do. And let me finish. If they're going to say, no, it's not that, then you hand them the spell and they read it and they go, oh, you're right, I'm sorry.
I never say, if I have a doubt about the spell, I'll ask for the paper and read it. But I generally don't try to just say, well, it doesn't do that. I like to make sure that I'm right when I'm saying.
Well, you can't know every spell if you haven't played every class. I mean, you and I, and even RPGGEM, we play specific classes most of the time.
Yeah, I play paladins and
Blackguards.
elementalists a lot.
Well, see, like with me, I'll play Knigget's. I don't really play paladins, but a Knigget's like a paladin. A Knigget's a knight. I say that because of Monty Python. But I'll play Knigget's because they do about the same thing. You know, they've got their defenders are, they've got all this stuff. They're just not paladins. And I'm not a fan of paladins. Sometimes I'll play a fighter. My class of choice for a long time was the Hexblade. And right now I'm kind of in thief mode. I almost had fun playing a wizard, but I don't want to do all that reading with the spells and all this stuff. I just want to sit there, play, and have fun.
If you're going to play spellcasters or elementalists, are a lot of fun.
I've played elementalists for some of the lair assaults, and they were effective for that.
And they're a lot of fun because they don't have like these bogged down spells. They're just like, you shoot a bolt at somebody's face. They don't really have dailies.
Yeah.
They have like Wall of Water.
Like the classes I usually play is just like healers and assassins because I find those fun.
Well, you like playing healers, but you don't like handing out the heals. So you got to work that out somehow because you'll sit there and go, "I'm not healing him," because you're mad at somebody at the table. You got to heal. You got to heal the group.
It's usually
So, well, regardless of who it is, that's your job. Just heal. But that's the encounter session. Again, search for the diamond staff. That was number one. There are only 6, I believe, in this season.
Really?
I mean, these seasons keep getting shorter and shorter.
Are there really only 6?
I believe so. There may be 8, but I think there's only 6.
Wow.
If anybody from Wizards listens to any of this, do something about that. I mean, we enjoy the 10, 12-week sessions because...
I think the longest session that I've ever played was like 13.
Yeah, and that was enjoyable. This stuff where, bam, you're done and you're back to a first-level character, it's no fun.
Going from...
Well, I do understand right now because it's 5th edition, because they're doing all the updates, but,
I don't know. I'm really afraid that this is going to be what they do moving forward, and it should be once a quarter encounters flips.
Yeah.
Not this once every month and a half. It's getting too quick, and I almost think that that's part of the reason that we're losing people because they, nobody really likes playing a character through 3-4 levels and then starting level 1 again. Nobody really enjoys that much. We do it because we like playing the game, but it gets old. It would be nice to have the characters going. That's
why we are playing our Sunday campaign.
That's why we've done our Sunday campaign.
Because what was the campaign that we started off with?
It was that Drow campaign.
Yeah, it was the 1 to 8 campaign, and then when we hit 8, we went into...
We asked who would like to take these characters and move forward.
Yeah, Tomb of Horrors, and we got a solid table of 6 for a while, and the one kid I haven't seen in forever.
He quit. I think he had school and he wanted to play other games. So.
Yeah,
but
that's probably it.
But life gets in the way, and he wants to do something else. We don't care what you play; just have fun.
We've had the one solid player through all of this, and then we've picked up 3 more solids.
Yeah.
Well, the dwarf's come in pretty solid.
Yeah, he's relatively new, but he's pretty
well. He was at college. He just graduated. Now he's here. So
yeah,
as long as he's here,
he was a good addition
playing.
to the group.
He was a good addition. So we've got a solid group.
Yeah.
But that all came out of encounters because we had our level 8 characters, and we're like, man, we got to level 8. Do we just want to drop these guys? And we asked people, and they said, hey, let's keep going. So that's when we did Tomb of Horrors.
And then you finally got. I was excited to finally have characters that got to their Paragon level.
Yes.
Paragon
Path.
And then Epic. That was a big one.
Yep.
The Epic Destinies.
So, I mean, we've had a lot of fun doing that. And that's one of the things I wouldn't mind. I mean, we're going to mess with GURPS, but I wouldn't mind continuing messing with 4.0, even after Next comes out, because they're not going to have the Epic Destinies. They're going to stop at 20 for now, like the old D&D did. Plus, I kind of have fun with some of the goofy stuff in in 4th edition. You know, I was against it when we first started back, but I'm enjoying it. 5th edition, if the rules system stays like it is, I'd almost be willing to go back and play 1st edition AD&D again.
Yeah.
Because I like the character builds more than what I see in this.
Well, I really want to try...
Granted, it's a lot easier to die.
I really want to try GURPS.
GURPS is going to be fun.
We'll probably play like a season of that, and we'll see how that goes.
Like I said, to make a campaign if we can get 6 months to 12 months out of it.
Well, once we kill Orcus, I'm sure that can be our Sunday campaign.
Yep, that's why somebody needs to start working on that. But anyway, if you're listening, Wizards, these short seasons suck. You know, people can still modify. You know, if you're halfway through a season and you do some new rule changes with Next, they could still modify. And the 4th edition players don't have to do anything, do they?
No.
So I'm sure there are people out there that are still playing 4th edition for these encounter sessions because they like that more than the stuff they're seeing with Next. So you need to... You're stripping away the ability for people to commit to those characters for an extended period of time. And that's really another thing that brings people back week after week. You become attached to that character and you want to play it.
Yeah.
You know, we became attached to those characters and we liked them once they got to 8 and we're like, let's play them.
Your character was a scout and then you flipped.
I did.
And now you've just kind of built them
It's
up.
pretty much still a drow. I've flipped at like level 9 to the thief.
Yeah.
And went from that point forward. But it was more because we had enough damage dealers. Even though I wanted the thief to do damage, we didn't have anybody that could take care of all the traps and stuff we were encountering.
In 5th edition, I'd kind of like to see multi-classes, like the old multi-class thing, where you gain levels, and like you could be a 4th level ranger and a 5th level paladin or something like that.
I still want to know what happened to the supposed D&D Next that would allow you to play any edition that you wanted. That doesn't exist. They're just making a whole new edition with new rule set that is kind of a bastardization of 2 or 3 different systems.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're not getting what was promised, and I'm not happy about it. So, but that's another point. Anyway, that's the end of our podcast. We're going to put up the vlog in the next day or so once I record it. We've got the other channel, RedBoyGames.com, for our video gaming. We didn't do much recording this week, but we need to finish off Metro. We need to work on Fuse, and I need to continue playing The Last of Us, the new game that we picked up.
And in June, I'm going to do the new expansion pack for The Sims 3. The
Paradise Island or something like that.
And
next week, you'll be getting Deadpool, so you have to finish Metro.
Oh, Deadpool, that's awesome. They made a game for that?
Yes.
That's cool.
It's probably going to be silly, but, you know.
Deadpool is silly.
Yeah,
so
silly.
Be sure to check out our other channel, Red Boy Games. We've got the blog, redboygames.com, and we have the channel, Red Boy Games.
Yeah.
And then also for this, we have the blog, RPGgang.com. And right now we're doing more podcasts. I'm not doing as much writing because we can sit here and everybody can put their input in. But anyway, that's it for our podcast today. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and be sure to subscribe to the RSS feeds on both of our blogs. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you for our weekend wrap-up on Monday.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
RPG Dad signing off. Bye.